Hi everyone, it's Alex Sparks here from Sparks Finance and I'm your local mortgage broker in Bathurst. Today's video is 5 ways to save for a house deposit. So the first one in here is obviously find out how much you actually need. There's a lot of myths around that you need a 20% deposit and that's just not the case. You know, saving 20% deposit in today's market is a long bloody haul. So just by being able to speak with someone and go, how much do I actually need for a house deposit to be able to get in the market is your first step. Now, as I said, a lot of people believe they need 20%, but there's a lot of government schemes that are available, particularly for first home buyers. You only require a minimum of 5%. So for example, if you wanted to purchase a property for $600,000, you're only going to need a minimum of $30,000 to get into the market. So by having that, that's the first goal that you need to do is go, okay, well, how much do I actually need? And then start working it back from there. The second way to save for a house deposit is start paying for the mortgage before you even get the property. Now, what do I mean by that? Now, a lot of people have the age-old thing, you know, it's cheaper to buy than it is to rent, okay? At the moment, with the increase in interest rates, that's really not the case. However, on the back end of that, you will, pay down the loan and then you will own an asset. But what I mean by start paying off the mortgage now, just say your rent is $400 a week. When you come in and we go, okay, well, if you were to purchase a property for say $600,000, your loan might be X amount, but actually the repayments on that are going to be about $700 per week. With that, we need to take into consideration, well, if you were to buy that property tomorrow, what are the actual costs? So it's not only what's coming out of your bank account in terms of your home loan repayments, it's the other costs as well, such as council rates, building insurance, maintenance, utilities, things like that. By being able to identify what the true cost of the loan is, you can start to make that little bit extra savings. So you're used to paying, say, $400 a week in rent, you're saving $200, but the actual true cost of that loan might be $750. Therefore, we want to see you make that additional $150 repayment now. So when you do have that property, you're going to know that you can afford those repayments comfortably, but also too, putting that extra $150 and finding that extra $150 is going to make your deposit grow significantly quicker. So that's another really good trick of the trade. The next one in here is to save for a house deposit is what we call a debt snowball. So this is a lot of people nowadays have, quite a few consumer debts such as credit cards, zip pays, afterpays, car loans, different things like that. So by sitting down and working down a plan, we can say, okay, let's just work to pay off the smaller debt first. And then once we pay that little debt, I'll say it might be a couple of $100 on zip pay, then we need to revert that payment that you had for that zip pay, say it's $50 a week, and then move that to the next debt that you have, which might be say $1,000. And then once we pay that off, then we move that repayment. So we're breaking down your debt really quickly. And then what that's going to do is when those smaller debts are paid out, you're going to have a lot more money each week or each month to then put into your savings account to then save for a deposit faster, because you're not paying interest on any of those debts anymore. So that's a way just to accelerate that and make sure that when you come in to get a loan, your banking's really nice and clean, you don't have any debt, your borrowing capacity is going to be higher, but also too, your deposit's going to be that little bit higher as well. Next thing in here is to obviously analyse your current spending. Now this is the boring one. Everyone having to look at your budget, making sure, look, I've got 8 different streaming services here, going through them and going, look, do I only really need one, or I only want to sort of have 2. So by identifying those, the different ways that you can, remove those expenses is not only about just removing them, it's about then going, well, I know that I can afford these things. How about I just automatically make those repayments into my savings account, because you know that you can do them. It's one thing to cut things out of your spending, but it's another thing to just leave them in the account for you to spend on other things, right? So by identifying what things you can cut out of your budget and then putting that money into savings is really, really critical to help that deposit increase. And the next thing in here is to automate it. Once we get that information set, we want to make sure we automate it so you don't have to think about it anymore. It's a real pain to sit there knowing you got paid and going through and moving this money around, paying your small debts off or moving money into your savings account. If we do it automatically, you know that, in a specific period in time, so say it's in 3 months, you know that I'm automatically putting this money aside into a savings account that I can't touch. And I know for a fact that in 3 months' time, I will have my target goal of money there because I haven't touched anything. And that's the spot that we want to get in. But the main point of all this is obviously, it does take a little bit of time to work through those numbers and make sure that you've got a goal there and make sure that everything's set up correctly. And that's where we can come in. We can sit down and help you save for this deposit to make sure that you can get in the market comfortably. in a speedy way. So, you know, if you want help with this, if you want to get in the market, you want to sit down, organize a plan, and help get this stuff set up, you know, just let us know. We can book in a time, run through the different options, and hopefully get you into a property soon. Thanks very much, everyone. Look forward to speaking with you soon. Bye.